Hey guys, and welcome back. The build up to the Carabao Cup final begins now. There will be daily uploads on the channel regarding the final. I'm down south all week and I can't wait for it. The first time in my lifetime we play a cup final. So today I've been speaking to Super Mac, also known as Malcolm Macdonald, Newcastle United legend. The last time we played in the League Cup final back in '76. Of course he played in that game, so it was a really good opportunity to come down today to the Dog and Pout and to interview a player who played on our last League Cup final. So without further ado guys, hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Anyway guys, we are joined here today by Super Mac, Newcastle United legend. He actually comes here, by the way, in every single home game for a little talking. Am I correct, before the game?
Yeah, that's right, home and away. Rather before and after the game.
Yeah.
I do both sessions. Pre-match, post-match, and yes, great crowd in there, good atmosphere. So thoroughly enjoyed doing it.
So a little bit of a plug for you there guys. You want to get yourselves in on a match day at Dog and Pout, make sure to do so. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement for today, but that big one next week, the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, and it is a big one, isn't it? Certainly for Newcastle United, it's been a long time since we've been to Wembley. You know, that I think people under 20 years of age who support Newcastle haven't known the club to go to Wembley. It's been that long. So very, very exciting, and we need just to stick a few more goals in that we've been doing. You know, the back four has been absolutely brilliant, wonderful. You look at the figures that they've achieved so far this season, and they are beyond comparison. They really are. And I wouldn't like to be a forward playing against them. So Man United, that's where their major problem is looking to score against Newcastle. So if Newcastle can hold them, then there's every chance possible. What I would like to see, Adam, is that Newcastle, that if, you know, when you think the last 6 games, they've drawn 5 and won 1, and the one that they won against Fulham, it was by 1-0, you know, and all the others have been 0-0, 1-1s. What Newcastle are failing to do at the moment is, having got a goal up, is then getting 2-0 up. That's because at 1-0 up, the opposition, they always feel as if they're in with a chance of getting back into it. They just need to score once, and so all things are possible then. But you get a second, go 2-0 up, and there's a mountain to climb then, you know, for the losing side. It's a real mountain. It's not just getting a goal back, but you've got to double that up, and so you've got to go and attack more, which is leaving yourself a little bit spare at the back. And there's every likelihood that Newcastle can then go and get a third. So that, I think, and I've always said this throughout my career, that the most important goal for any team is the second one that puts you 2-0 up.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. I think we do need to be a lot more convincing in front to go, but
yes.
Back on topic to that final next week. I mean, you were saying before how it's been over 20 years for fans. I'm actually 22 years old, and we have never played at Wembley in a cup final in my lifetime. So just that feeling now under the new ownership as well, how quickly things have transpired since the takeover last year. Just how's it been for you?
It's been incredible, hasn't it? It's all happened so quickly, all in a bum's rush. It's quite incredible, and it's very difficult to keep up with. You know that Eddie Howe, the manager, he's got to keep working his players, and of course the way that the financial fair play system inhibits clubs like Newcastle, who are sort of entering the top 6, having been outside of it for a long time, that and also geographical location and what have you, that a club like Newcastle is never going to earn the kind of money that a London club will, for example, nor Liverpool, nor Manchester. And so under FFP, Newcastle are always going to be really limited in their value by comparison to the others, and so it's going to take a fair old while for Newcastle to increase their value to a point where they can seriously compete. That when you think now, we're sort of working off of like it's really a 13-14 man squad. You know, there are others around, but are they really up to scratch? You look at Manchester City and even Man United as well, perhaps. But Man City in particular, they've been in the Champions League for some number of years now, consecutively. And they, in their playing squad, they literally can put out 2 first teams, and they are and they are comparable in every way, just about. You know, the standard is really high. Newcastle, they put one side out, you know, and you're looking around. You know, they couldn't have a Team A versus Team B practice match. They just haven't got that number of players nor the quality of players, and the money is there. It must be very frustrating up at St James Park because the takeover has made Newcastle one of the richest clubs in the world. But so the money is there, it's available, but the rules are saying you can't spend it. And we need very quick improvements. We really do. And I feel a little bit sorry for the players that are already there. They've done so brilliantly this particular season. But when there's 2 or 3 injuries, all of a sudden the whole situation is so weakened. And it makes life very, very difficult indeed, very difficult. But they've been doing well, all of them, and I hope that they can keep it going through to the end of the season.
Well, I sure hope so. But on a bit of a personal level for you now, the last time Newcastle played in a League Cup final was 1976. I'm sure you remember that match quite well, of course, in your playing career as well.
I do, yes. In fact, because Man City went a goal up, and it was Alan Gowling and myself playing up front, and I was able to knock a ball across the 6-yard box for him to slide into the net, and we got back into the game, and from there we looked as if we were going to go on and win the game. We were much the better side, and half time came and went, and in the second half we were well on top again, and then Man City had a bit of a breakaway and the ball was knocked into the penalty area, and would you believe it, it was a Newcastle United fan who was born in Heaton with an outrageous bicycle kick, scored for Manchester City. He made it 2-1, and that was the shot in the arm that Man City needed, and they sort of held on. We gave it everything that we could, but it was an extraordinary goal, worthy of winning a final at Wembley, that's for sure. But it was very disappointing for us and all the Newcastle supporters that were there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's just how it goes sometimes. Fingers crossed next week's a lot better.
Yes.
But finally, before I let you get inside the dog and power, I just want to ask you for your predictions next week and what Newcastle players have been keen on this season.
Well, I'm looking at the defence first and saying, right, if they can frustrate the Man United back four, the front line and the mid four, then and Manchester United will get frustrated, then we need to go and score. And if we do, if we get a goal up, I ideally want to see us go 2-0 up. That's a real crucial goal to score, particularly at Wembley. It's always difficult to get things back at Wembley. Difficult to get 1 goal back, but to get 2, you know, that really is impossible, as I said earlier. So yeah, I want to see the goal scorers at work, because we know the defence will be brilliant.
Well, I appreciate it, Malcolm. Thank you so much. I'll let you get back inside now. It's a bit cold out here. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure. You take care now.
Thank you, and good luck with all you're doing, and enjoy the game next Saturday.
Thank you so much. I will do, but I appreciate it, Malcolm. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure.